I'm gonna show you how to analyze any self-storage market in under 10 minutes for free with no tools. All right guys, so let's take this blank piece of paper here and let's imagine that this is a town, okay? Let's call this Atlanta, okay? Now let's say that I'm looking at analyzing this self-storage property, okay? So this is an address on the map, okay? This is the property. We'll write an S and circle it because this is the subject property, okay? So the first thing we have to understand is that we serve people and we analyze markets by, number one is population. Number two thing we have to consider is competitors, so competition. And then the third thing we have to look at is incomes. So let's imagine this is our subject. The first thing that we need to do is we need to map out where all of our competitors are. So let's just put X's on the map for where competitors may be. So let's say that, you know, there's a street here, there's a competitor here, there's a competitor here, there's a competitor over here. Now we have our subject property and we know where all of our competitors are. The first thing that we have to do is we have to draw a line, and this line is going to be 1 mile out. Okay, so this is 1 mile, okay? Now, we're gonna draw a radius. So 1 mile as a crow flies. I'm from the South, so that's how we say straight lines. 1 mile as a crow flies, and you're gonna have to forgive my, my drawing here, but we're gonna draw a circle, just a straight up radius. So let's say that that was a perfect circle 1 mile around the property. Now, what we need to do inside of this 1 mile is we need to figure out how many square feet. So if the property we're looking at is, let's say 20,000 square feet, we need to figure out how many square feet is this. We're just gonna do this the free way with no tools where you can do this very quickly, okay? So we have one competitor, so 1 mile, we have one competitor, okay? Ignore my spelling here. We're serving people as a commodity-based business. We're serving people within our immediate area. So our most immediate, this is called, the 1 mile is called a trade area, okay? So this is a 1 mile trade area, essentially the market within this one. Well, we only have ourselves and we have one competitor. That's the most immediate market that we're serving for this commodity. Now, next up, we have to go out to 3 miles, okay? So from this point, 3 miles out, and we're gonna draw a circle all the way around us. This is our next. So in the 3 mile, guess what? We have 2 competitors, okay? And then the final trade area is we're gonna go out even more to, let's say, the 5 mile. So that means from this point out here and all the way around it, again, sorry for my drawing, I'm a math guy, I'm not an artist, right? So, but let's say this guy fell in it, but this guy and these guys did not fall inside of it. So inside the 5 mile, we have 1, 2, 3 competitors. So the first thing to do is to understand which market are we really serving? Well, a lot of the big people inside of self-storage look at the 5 mile, and it is true that 5 mile is a pretty good indication, but never outside of the 5 mile. This guy right here does not matter, does not matter, does not matter. These are not our competitors. Our competitors are only falling within a 5 mile radius around our property. Why is that? Because when people want self-storage, they don't want to drive, 45 minutes. This may be a 45-minute drive out here. They don't want to drive really more than 15 or 20 minutes and have their stuff stored further away from that. Now, you do get the occasional person where, let's say again, if this was all of Atlanta, we may find that a person moves to New York or they move to Miami or wherever it may be, and what ends up happening is they store their stuff here and they just haven't moved it, right? Those are kind of outlying factors. I would say 98% of your customers are going to come within this 5 mile radius. And I even did a survey within my existing properties, and I found that I think it was like something like 88% of my people fell within this 3 mile. So to me, the 3 mile trade area is super important. This is what I care about most, is the 3 mile. Now, how do we actually determine if this is gonna be a good market for us or if this is not gonna be a good market for us? Let's say that the competitors here, which in the 3 mile is this one, and we have ours. So this is the total market of self-storage within this 3 mile radius, okay? Now, this total market is really what I care about most. I'm gonna inquire about this person, but I really care about this. If we want to get technical, we would go through and we'd figure out how many square feet per capita, right? I guess the fourth one up here is, supply, but that comes in under competition. The thing that we care about is how full are they? So one is how full. So if we call these people, and I'll post a video about secret shopping and what secret shopping is, but what I can do here is I can go visit their websites to see, do they have anything available? Do they have any 10 by 10 units available, 5 by 10 units, 10 by 20s? What do they have available, and what does that mean for me? I may find that this competitor is completely full, so 100% full, nothing to rent, okay? I might find that this competitor over here is all full on their 10 by 20s, and maybe they're all full on their 10 by 15s, but they have two 10 by 10s and a lot of 5 by 10s available, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down and figure out, for my facility, what is my rent roll, okay? And what I mean by that, my unit mix, more or less. How occupied am I as a business? And how many units do I have available that need to be rented, and what size are those units? So because we looked at this trade area, but we have this trade area for each unit size, okay? So for each unit size, for 5 by 10s, we have a trade area. For 10 by 10s, we have a trade area. For 10 by 15s, we have a trade area. And so what this tells me is if I have a facility that has, let's say it has 100 units and half of those units are 5 by 10s, and this facility is 100% full, but this facility has a lot of 5 by 10s, I know that inside of this market, 5 by 10s are not a great product to have. I would rather have 10 by 10s, I would rather have any other large unit type, because that's what this 3-mile trade area is wanting and demanding. Because you may say, oh wow, I called this person, they're 100% full, and this person's 90% full. But what you may figure out is that the 10% full that they are is all 5 by 10s, and they have all their bigger units, 10 by 10s, and everything else is up. So really what you found out is this trade area is 100% full, and there's a ton of demand for 10 by 10s and up, and 5 by 10s and under, there is a weak demand here. So I want to try to do that for each and every individual product type and compare it to what kind of units I have to offer the market and how full I am. And so what this means is that when we're analyzing a deal, if we were to come through and this one was 80% full and this one were 70% full, it's going to be very hard as a general market to move up the income of that property because the natural demand is not there. If we're buying a self-storage facility and we really want to raise the revenue, raise the rents, well, first off, we have to make sure that people even want to rent what we have, right? If we're trying to raise the rent on a property that's only 50% full and the competitors here are 50% full and 40% full, you're gonna have a really hard time raising the income and having a good, solid business and profitable market there. And so you're looking for these markets, you're trying to understand my closest competitors, what kind of occupancy do they have, and how is that gonna relay over into how I'm going to rent. Let's draw a little stick figure here, right? If we have this person, they don't know you, and they don't know you. All they know is, hey, I need to store 2 bedrooms worth of stuff. Who's got the best prices, right? Or you may have people who are looking for the best prices, or you may have the people who are looking for who's closest to me. If this person's full, okay, well, what's the second person closest to me, right? And so that's kind of how generally a self-storage market is gonna work, is you're gonna be competing with mainly the people within a 3-mile radius. So these are the people that you wanna go through, you wanna figure out what their occupancy is like, what kind of rates they're charging. And then let's say that you didn't have people here and here, and there was only you and one other person within a 5-mile radius. This is who you would be comparing to, right? So I put a lot more emphasis on the people within a 1 and a 3-mile radius and a 5-mile radius, okay? So that's very basic with no tools, how I would analyze a self-storage market. If you guys want to know how to get more in depth to understand the population metrics, the income metrics, and the supply metrics, I've got another video you can touch in the top right of the screen right now. And that video will show you the tools that I use and how to use that tool so that you can actually get the specifics on it. But at its core, this is going to give you very good insight into what's happening inside of that market. So this is at a very high level how you analyze a self-storage market with no tools. I hope it was valuable.